Hey everyone. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about 3 tips to reduce stress and overwhelm related to health and weight loss goals. I think that this is one of the most stressful and overwhelming areas of our lives is setting out on a health or weight loss goal. And part of the reason is that there's an overwhelming amount of contradictory information. Now, don't worry because I am not going to add to that pile. I am actually going to give you 3 tips to unravel all of that so that you can go into your stress and weight loss goals with some peace and some confidence, and you can feel really, really good about what you're doing in this particular area of your life. I think that it is so essential, especially here, to reduce that stress because we know that stress counteracts our health and weight loss efforts, right? It causes us to gain weight or makes it hard for us to lose weight. It is a major contributor to all major chronic disease. So the last thing we want is stress when it comes to improving our health or losing weight. By the way, this is Upcycled Adulting, my YouTube channel, where I teach you how to upcycle your real life into your best life with overcoming obstacles, growing to accomplish your goals, and by creating healthy habits. And so today we're going to talk about some healthy perspectives that can help you reduce the obstacle of stress and overwhelm in the area of health and weight loss. So without further ado, let's get started. And for those of you who have been around a little bit, you might recognize that these 3 things align perfectly with my exclusive small step method. And there's a reason for that. The small step method works for everything, y'all. And it takes all of the confusion and all of the angst out of anything that you're trying to work on in your life. So without further ado, let's kick this off. Number 1 is to change your attitude. When it comes to health and weight loss, one of the things that tends to happen is we fall into a shame spiral about what we haven't done or what hasn't worked or how many times we failed. We come to a space where we're really frustrated with our bodies. Maybe we hate or loathe our bodies. We don't like the way that they look. We don't like the way that they function. We don't like what they do. Now, this happens as well when you're neurodivergent and maybe you feel like you're at war with your brain. You feel like you are frustrated that you don't get motivated in the same ways, or that you're more impulsive, or that certain tasks in your life are harder because of your autism or ADHD. This happens in many different facets, right? I happen to have an autoimmune condition, and I remember early on in the process of developing the condition before I was diagnosed, saying that I felt like I was at war with my body at all times. And honestly, I had felt like that for a long time. I had worked on weight loss for 20 years. I had never been successful with it. I had done all the research. I went in all or nothing. I did all the things, and it never seemed to work. And it definitely didn't work long term. So I always felt like I was at war with my body. Listen, it can be difficult. It can be difficult to relinquish the need to control your body or the feeling that you should be able to control your body. And I think that the only other place in life we have this real true, like, but that I should be able to control is with our children, right? We think we can control what happens to our kids. We can protect them. We can raise them well and prevent them from making bad choices. We really think that we have a lot of control in those areas. But the truth is, we don't. We don't have nearly as much control as we think we do. Lots of things are going on inside your body. So you can control what you can control, but here's what you can't control. You can't control if you're in your 50s. You can't control if you're perimenopausal. You can't control if you're struggling with hormones. You can't control. And when I say you can't control it, I mean, sure, are there lifestyle changes you can make? Yes. But can you wave a magic wand and make it go away? If you make enough lifestyle changes, can you cure your autism? No. Can you cure your MS by making multiple lifestyle changes? No. Can you change your genetic history? No. So there are a lot of things that we really can't control. I'm 5'4". No matter what I do, I can't control that. I'm not going to be 5'10", right? There are so many things that we cannot control about our health, but we tend to think we can control all of them. And when we can't, when we struggle, when we fail, when we miss it, we fall into this space where we blame our bodies and we're like, why isn't my body working the way it should? Why isn't it doing what it's supposed to be doing? I'm doing all the right things and I'm still not losing the weight I expected to lose. I'm still doing all the right things and I hit a plateau. And I don't understand why I'm not losing weight anymore when I was before. I don't understand why I'm having a flare of my autoimmune condition. And I feel like my body is betraying me in certain ways. I want you to know that most people, if not everyone, experience that at some point in their lives. You are not alone, and there isn't something wrong with you. And it's a difficult space to move out of. I also want you to know that you don't have to love your body tomorrow. You know, some of you are like, oh, I thought that's where you were going with this. No, you do not have to love your body. You don't have to love your body to start taking care of it. You don't. But what we do have to do is come to a space where we have more acceptance and awareness so that we can listen to our bodies, become partners with our bodies, get on the same page, become aligned. This is like co parenting with your ex, right? You don't have to love your ex, but for the sake of your kids, you need to try to work together as much as possible. And I know some of our exes make that really difficult to do. I get it. But that doesn't mean you don't keep making the effort to try to be as aligned as possible, to try to make things as easy as possible on the kids involved, right? Even if you can't get on the same page, it's not healthy, it's not safe. What you're doing though is you're trying to do everything you can to make it as smooth as possible. And that's what you want to do with your body. Your body might be in full blown rebellion. Your body might be being completely uncooperative. But in your mindset, your effort is always in a space of working toward the best outcome for your body, right? So we're going to just make a gradual shift. Now, one of the best ways to do this is to use affirmations. And no, I do not mean telling yourself every day that you love your body, because the truth is, if you hate it right now, your brain knows that's a lie. What I mean is gradually changing the way you think about your body, gradually changing the way you think about your health, and gradually changing the way you think about the management of your health and your body weight. And that takes time. That takes energy. Affirmations are scientifically proven to work for everyone. If you've tried them and they haven't worked for you, or you've always been suspicious that they're kind of in that toxic positivity realm because they're really portrayed that way, I want to encourage you to join Inner Circle and take the affirmation masterclass, because it will absolutely change your life and it gives you the tools you need to rewire your brain in a healthy way. Please know it does work and it is really, really effective. But just coming to a space where you can say to yourself, I am going to make an effort to take care of my body. I am going to work toward nourishing it well. I am going to try to learn about my symptoms or my triggers so that I can improve my outcomes, right? Even if you think of it from the perspective of, if you are at war, you do want to know everything you possibly can about the enemy. And you start to gradually transition from that space, right? A lot of times in that situation, what happens is, as you're learning about your enemy, you end up humanizing your enemy. You end up even empathizing with them. You end up understanding their motivation, and you end up being better able to implement diplomacy. I've kind of wandered off, I know. When we can implement diplomacy with our own bodies, we can work toward improved health and weight loss that lasts long term. Number two is, I'm going to just give you a small step. I'm going to give you something that you can actually tangibly do every single day to improve your health and to help you lose weight if you're not already at your optimal weight. And that is to focus on adding instead of taking away. So often, especially in the area of nutrition, especially in the area of food, when we're trying to reach certain health outcomes or we're trying to reach certain weight goals, what we focus on is reducing, taking away, restricting, limiting things. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have been advised by a medical care provider to be mindful, for example, of your sugar intake because you're diabetic, stick with that. Okay. Do not stop doing that. But if you are on an elimination diet, for example, to help you find food triggers, also good idea. However, I'm hoping you've done some work around your mindset about your body so that you can really tune in and listen to what your body needs through this phase. But otherwise, rather than focusing on, I can't have carbs, I can't have sugar, I can't have potato chips, I can't eat out, I can't have alcohol, I can't have. Instead of focusing on that, focus instead on what you need to add to your life. When we're mindful of what we're adding, we keep ourselves out of a deprivation and scarcity mindset. Now, many of you may not be aware of this, but when we focus on deprivation, one, we want that thing more. And two, that deprivation mindset starts to permeate other areas of our lives and impacts our perception of scarcity and abundance. We end up seeing more scarcity because of the feelings of deprivation we're experiencing on a regular basis. It's vitally, vitally important that we not focus or hone in on deprivation. Instead, what we need to be thinking about is what can I add? When we're thinking about what can I add, we're thinking about abundance, we're thinking about nourishing ourselves, we're thinking about the ways that it's getting better and bigger. And so thinking about things like I can add more vegetables, I can add more rest, I can add more water, I can add more movement that I enjoy, and focusing on increase instead of decrease will keep your mindset in the right place and help you stay on track. Now, some of you I know might be thinking, but Cassie, that's crazy. You don't know how many cookies I eat a day. And I get that because I talk to people all the time. I get DMs all the time about this topic. And I know some of you want to leave a comment for me right now about this. I've been teaching people this for years, and this is not an uncommon thing in the wellness industry. I've been teaching people this for years, and every single person who has increased the amount of plants they eat in a day has noticed that within a couple weeks, they also have increased energy, meaning they move more, and decreased brain fog and decreased cravings. People find that when they eat more vegetables, they actually don't crave junk food as much. They naturally eat less of the foods that they would otherwise be focused on depriving themselves of. So it happens naturally without even trying. And I want to remind all of you that food isn't just nourishment for our bodies. It's nourishment for our souls. It connects us with our culture and our heritage. And that it's important to go ahead and eat that food that you may have labeled junky or unhealthy, to go ahead and eat those things because everything in your life is moderation and balance. You will not, spoiler alert, you will not stick with never ever eating sweets again for the rest of your life. And if you do, anybody who's watching right now and you're like, oh, I have done that. If you do, there's a pretty good chance that you may have some sort of disordered or unhealthy relationship with food. And you may want to seek professional help for that. Because I have to tell you that that very rigid, unbalanced approach to eating is not real life. And it's not healthy mentally or physically. I know. I'm going to get all the comments about having said that one. All right. And number 3 is celebrate your wins. Listen, I talk about this so often, and I feel like people withhold that celebration. They say to themselves, when I lose 10 pounds, I'll celebrate. When I blank, I'll celebrate. When my blood work comes back better, then I'll celebrate. But the truth of the matter is, if you don't celebrate on the path, you are very unlikely to stick with that path. You see, the key to staying engaged or staying motivated is to create momentum. The key to sticking with it is actually to get that dopamine reward that you get when you celebrate or acknowledge your wins, when you recognize your success. Because when we accomplish something, we get this awesome hit of dopamine that makes us feel really incredible and pleased and helps us recommit or stay committed to the very thing that we're trying to do. So it doesn't work to say, I'll celebrate myself 3 months from now. You have to celebrate yourself now. And so I'm going to be really mindful of presenting to you ways that you can celebrate yourself, things that you can think about, and ways that might be outside of the box for you. And maybe you're going to be thinking to yourself, well, Cassie, that's no big deal. And that's kind of a cop out. And if I celebrate myself too much, then I'm just going to rest on my laurels and I'm just going to think I'm doing great even when I'm not. And I'm telling you right now, please try it. That's not true. I understand that you may think that. From a parenting perspective, we rarely think if I praise my child for cleaning their room, they're never going to clean their room again. We often think as parents that the more we praise our kids, the more we encourage them to do the things that we want them to do, right? But a lot of us, when it applies to ourselves, we are implementing that 1950s, 1970s, that mindset that we developed as children, where our parents said, I shouldn't have to praise you for doing the thing you're supposed to do anyways. You should just be doing it, right? And that wasn't very motivating. That didn't feel good. It felt good to have your parents say, I'm really proud of you because you tried your best in school. I'm really proud of you because you helped out around the house without being asked. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy when you're kind to your sibling, right? And then you're more likely to do it because you feel validated and seen and appreciated. And that's what many of us do with our children, but we don't do it with ourselves. So I am challenging you to do this with yourself. Instead of beating yourself up about what you didn't do, instead of expecting that behavior, be proud of yourself that you ate more vegetables. Be proud of yourself that you moved your body, even if it was just a 5-minute walk down the block. Be proud of yourself and recognize the small things that are changing in your life. Wow, I have more energy. Wow, I'm in a better mood. I'm sleeping better, right? Acknowledge things like less brain fog or less fatigue. Acknowledge things like less headaches or less stomach upset. Acknowledge those things. Be proud of them. Tell other people about them if you'd like that outside feedback, right? And I have to tell you, in our community, we celebrate even the tiniest things. So if you don't have somebody who does that for you, please look at Inner Circle as an option for you. Being proud of yourself on a daily basis makes a huge difference. So if you haven't already, start an accomplishment journal and be mindful of putting something in that accomplishment journal every single day related to your health or the way that you're caring for your body. Even if it's something like, I noticed that I was thirsty. I noticed that I needed more rest. I noticed that my shin was really sore, and I'm so proud of myself because I took a day off from my workout so that I could give my body the rest it needed. You see, at the end of the day, true health and lasting weight loss come from connection to our bodies. They come from listening to our bodies. They come from accepting our bodies. Not everyone, including me, is going to be blank weight or blank size. For those of you who have not heard it yet, the AMA has actually released a statement that BMI and the use of BMI is not effective, that it is not appropriate, that it doesn't work for a multitude of reasons. All right. Your body is unique, and your body knows what size it is supposed to be. And it is not a one size fits all. Learning how to align yourself with your body well enough to listen to it, even if it tells you something like, my body told me it's not cool with quinoa. I know quinoa is really healthy and I like it, but my body does not like it. Just saying, does not like it. Or if your body is telling you it needs more sleep, that doesn't make you lazy. Listening to your body, adding more of what your body needs so that your body doesn't have to be stressed. You can break that physical chronic stress cycle of your body and your brain being preoccupied with the deprivation and the things it's not getting, going into complete panic because your body is used to getting blank, but now it's not, right? And celebrating those wins so that you feel successful, so that you feel aligned, so that you feel motivated and engaged. And by the way, when you do all of that, it goes right back into your mindset. Because when you feel successful at taking care of your body, you feel like you accept your body more. You feel more aligned with it. You feel less at odds. And I have to tell you, that is the key to long-term health and long-term wellness. Give it a shot. I know it's revolutionary. I know it sounds so outrageous, but here's the deal. What you've been doing so far is everything that the diet industry has told you to do. And if the diet industry was right, they'd be out of business. They'd be out of business. If what they're telling you to do really worked, if it was as simple as calories in, calories out, work out harder, eat less, or eat less of blank sets of foods, we would all be optimally healthy and in our goal weight. The truth is that doesn't work. It's time for something new. Everyone who has tried this has found some success here from the perspective of being able to move to a healthier mindset with their bodies and take care of them better than ever before. It's worth it. This is the only body you're going to have for your whole entire life. It matters that you take care of it. It matters that you want to take care of it. It matters. Do not forget to subscribe. Next week, I'm going to be talking about financial habits and then financial stress. If you are not yet in Inner Circle, check out Inner Circle, where you can find the Take Control of Your Health section of our Take Control of Your Life course. We'll be rolling out sections of the Take Control of Your Life course every couple of weeks until they're all out. So that will include health, money, time, home, and relationships. And if you are interested in de-stressing your life, creating the habits that you need to maintain your real life so that you can focus on building the intentional life that you love, being the sculptor of who you are and the author of the life you're living, you have to go over and get an Inner Circle. It includes live coaching, and I'm going to tell you that you will absolutely love it. All right, I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.